Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. In this video, I'd like to share with you 3 different situations. How do you approach? Many learners, they fail the driving test the way they approach on those situations. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 different situations. How do you approach? Like I said, many, they fail for approaching wrong way on those situations. Let's start the lesson. So how should you approach roundabouts? What is the correct way should we be approaching roundabouts? Many learners, they fail the test because they approach roundabout the wrong way. They approach incorrectly, and this is why they fail. So firstly, let's talk about roundabouts, and let's talk about why do we have roundabouts in the first place? What is the reason? What is the purpose of roundabouts? Why do we have roundabouts on the roads? Why don't we just have traffic lights there controlling the junction? Why do we have to have roundabouts? What is the reason? What is the purpose? If we understand that, only then we will know how to approach. We will know how should we be approaching a roundabout. So let's talk about why do we have roundabouts on the roads? Why? What is the reason? That the reason is because so that you flow the traffic, the flow of the traffic, so that you don't have to stop if there's nobody there on the junction. If it's traffic lights and it's red, even if there's nobody there, you still have to stop because it's red. But on roundabouts, if there's nobody coming on your right, you don't have to stop. It's telling you for you to flow, for you to just carry on going so that you don't have to stop. That way, you are flowing, car behind is flowing, no one is stopping unless you have to stop. So basically, the main reason, the purpose of roundabouts is so that they flow the traffic. The traffic doesn't have to stop if you don't have to. So the rule of the roundabout is you approach the roundabout, you look on your right, and if there's nobody coming on your right, you don't stop. Cars coming from the right has priority. You'll have to wait for them, you'll have to stop for them. If the gap is there for you to go, you go. If there's nobody there, you go. But if there's somebody coming on your right, you'll have to stop. That is the rule of roundabout. So the reason many learners they fail is because as they approach the roundabout, they're not looking on their right early enough. They just go to the line, they stop, and then they look. If you do that, what have you done? You've just broken the principle of roundabout. The whole reason the roundabout is there so that you look early, and if there's nobody there, you don't stop, you carry on going. And the only way you're going to know if there's somebody coming or not is when you look early. Many learners, they don't look early. They see a roundabout, or maybe the examiner said there's a roundabout coming up. Can you go second exit straight, third on the right, first on the left? So you've got the instructions. Instead of them doing the MSPSL routine and looking early on their right, what they're doing is they don't look on their right. They go to the line, they stop first, and then they look on their right to see if it's safe or not. If you don't look early, you go to the line and it was safe for you to go, there was nobody coming, and you go and stop anyway, you will fail your test for that. Why? Because that's not the reason why the roundabout is made. It is there, like I said, so flow the traffic. What you've done, you didn't check early, you went and you stopped, you've broken the principle. Obviously, like I said, remember, if there's somebody coming on your right, if you look early and there is a car coming and you think the gap is not big enough for you to go, what do? You have to go and you have to stop, because that's the rule. The rule is you give way on your right. There's a car coming, there's no gap, you have to stop. But you haven't even looked. If you don't look on your right and there's nobody coming, or the gap is there for you to go, but what you've done, if you didn't look, you just went and you stopped anyway, and then you looked. By then, the gap is gone. Your job is to look early as you're approaching and look for the gap if there's a car coming, or if there is car coming, but do you have the gap for you to go? If you have the gap to go, you should make a decision, you should make a plan, and you should approach in a way so that you don't have to wait and you don't have to stop. You carry on going because you've got the gap. So just to conclude, when you are approaching a roundabout, firstly, make sure you understand the reason why we have roundabouts, number one. And number two, as you're approaching, look on your right and decide whether you need to stop or not. If the gap is there, you shouldn't stop. If the gap isn't there and you'll have to give way, then you stop, give way, and then get the car ready for you to go again. Secondly, how do you approach traffic lights? Many do fail for that as well. So as you're approaching a traffic light and it's green, what does that mean? Green means go, right? That's what it means. Red means stop. If it's green, it should be going. Now you are approaching and it's green, and you could see green. Many learners, what they do, as soon as they see green, they speed up. They're approaching in a way so that if the traffic light does change all of a sudden, they'll have to stop the car in an emergency, and that's a problem for the car behind. Because if you stop in an emergency because the traffic light changed suddenly, the car behind could go back of you. That's a problem. So green doesn't mean that you approach in a way to beat the traffic light. You should approach in a way so that if it does change last minute, you will be able to stop. You shouldn't be too slow, because then you are approaching in a way as if it's red. So if it's green, approach in a way so the speed is good enough for you to stop if it does change last minute. So the best way to approach a green traffic light is, you see a traffic light coming up, you're driving along, drive as normal. As you are quite close to the traffic light, maybe about 6 cars away, 6 car distance away from the traffic light, off gas and let the car roll. Don't give gas anymore, just let it roll. And then when you reach around 2 cars from the line, the stop line of the traffic light, start giving gas. Because by then, if it does change, you are too close. You should be going. Okay? So about 6 to 9 cars away, off gas and let the car roll. No gas, just let it roll. And about 2 cars distance from the stop line of the traffic light, if it doesn't change, it's still green, speed up. That way, if it does change, it is too late now. Okay, you're going to carry on going. Next, and the last one, is how do you approach a T-junction? T-junction is when you're reaching the end of the road. When you come to the end, you have a T-junction. On a T-junction, you're either going to have a giveaway line or you're going to have a stop line. So when you approach a T-junction, or I should say, when you approach an end of the road, look for the sign and look on the floor to see what is it. That junction, first of all, does it have a stop line or does it have a giveaway line? If it's a stop line, there will be a sign, also the road marking. Stop line will have a solid white line. A giveaway line will have 2 broken white line. So make sure to remember that, okay? So as you approach the end, always look for the sign, look on the floor, what kind of markings is it? Is it a stop line or is it a giveaway line? If it's a stop line, you have no choice but to go to the line, stop fully, get the car prepared, look both way, and then go if it's safe. Okay, so let me repeat. If it's a stop line, end of the road, if it's a stop line, you go to the line and you stop fully. By law, you have to stop. You have no choice. So you stop first, get the car ready, then see if it's safe, and then you go if it's safe. But if it's a giveaway line, then you need to ask the question, is that an open junction or a closed junction? Okay, so if it's a giveaway line, meaning 2 broken white line, it means ask the question, is that an open junction or a closed junction? If it's a closed junction, it means you can't see both way because of the blockage, because of the destruction. Maybe because of wall building, and because of that reasons, you can't see who's coming from the right, who's coming from the left. You can't see. It's a closed junction, which means you'll have to approach to the line as if you are stopping, get the car ready, then look if it's safe. If it is, you go. If not, you stop. So closed junction is a junction where you can't see both way because of destruction, because of obstruction on both sides. Or maybe one side there's a destruction, maybe because there's a wall, there's a fence, there's a tree. Because of that, you can't see who's coming, which means you approach to the line as if you are stopping and then see if it's safe and then you go. If it's open junction, which means from early on, you could see who's coming. Maybe because there is no obstructions on the side, maybe there's no wall, there's no buildings, maybe there's grass field on the side, and because of that you could see wide and open. You could see who's coming from the right, who's coming from the left. You could see open, you could see the junction is open, you could see if there's somebody coming. So if it's an open junction, you make the decision early, just like roundabout. You look on your right and look on your left and make a decision if there's somebody coming. If there isn't, which means you have the priority, it means you don't have to stop. If there's somebody coming, which means they have the priority, because you have the giveaway line, you have to give way to the cars on the main road. So open junction, look early and make a decision whether you could go or not. If there's nobody coming, or there is cars coming but you have the gap to go, prepare the car and you just carry on going without stopping. If there's someone coming and you think there is no gap for you to go, then you go to the line, you stop, you give way to them, whoever is on the road, and then you go. So these are the three I wanted to highlight in this video. How do you approach on roundabouts? How do you approach traffic lights? And how do you approach a T-junction? These are the three, like I said, the way you approach, many learners, they do fail the driving test. So I just wanted to remind you so that you could go back and think about them, do more practice on them, and hopefully if there is problem on them, you're going to solve it before you go to the test. Because like I said, many learner, they do fail on those. If you need extra help on learning to drive and to pass the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course, which gives everything a learner needs. The course has more than 30 videos in the course, giving you everything you need for you to learn and for you to pass the driving test. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read. If you like it, you could always join the course.